Hi guys, I'm Vlad and we're back with another episode of my Power of 3 Time Series. And today we're going to study how to find potential trade setups using the Power of 3 212 sequence in my time cycle. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. All right, so now that you understand what the power of 3 time cycles are, the logical next question you all probably have and should have is how am I supposed to use this power of 3 sequence in order to find trade entries? Okay, and it's very simple. There is a simple framework that I'm going to show you now to confirm high probability trade setups. And we're going to use one very well known, probably familiar for many of you tool, and that of course is SMT. Okay, so we're talking about a standard SMT diversion between the asset that we're trading. In that case, it will be NASDAQ and ES, so the correlating asset to whatever you're trading. In my case, the correlating asset is ES. So what is different about the SMT divergence that I want to see compared to a standard SMT divergence? Well, the difference is in the fact that it should form a specific place. So, what specific place? Well, now that we have the time cycles showing on our chart, we would like to see an SMT forming between two different cycles. So it's going to be either between accumulation and manipulation or between manipulation and distribution. Okay, so pay close attention here because this is important. We don't want an SMT here because that's an SMT within the same power of 3 cycle. Okay, so such SMTs, they might work, but they are lower probability, and I would advise against trusting those, because once you start trusting those, your probabilities are likely going to go down, and then you're gonna blame the model or anything, and that's not what you want to do, because the time cycles, they are real and they work if you apply the correct framework. So what you want to do in our case here, we want to see the high and the low of the previous cycle, and we want ideally to have an SMT at the extremes, so at the high and the low of the previous cycle. Okay, an SMT here, it's not recommended as well. It's best if it is at the extreme, so either the low or the high of this previous accumulation cycle. So it just so happens that we have an SMT right now, so it's between here, the low of our morning accumulation cycle, and the low here of our manipulation cycle that is currently playing out. So here is ES. On the bottom you can see that ES, during that specific manipulation cycle, it took the previous cycle low. All right, so it's going to be like this. It was taken while ES remained strong and didn't take it. Okay, so that's how you find high probability reversal setups. Okay, so currently NQ as the stronger of the two is printing up, and we want to watch the other end of this accumulation cycle, so the other extreme to where the SMT formed. So we're gonna want to watch this cycle's high as a potential candidate for draw on liquidity. Okay, so I'm gonna use, let's use this standard eye icon that everybody likes to use these days as a yeah, like this. So this is what we're watching now. This is the level where price is likely going to draw to by the end of manipulation cycle and beginning of distribution. So let's see if we can trade to here. But anyway, once the SMT formed, you have here a market structure shift, and then ultimately we are drawing upwards towards previous cycle high. Okay. ES also didn't take the high of previous cycle yet. So we are going to watch that and see if by the end of this video we're gonna take this cycle, or of course even after the video. But I want to show you more examples of this concept from previous days, so that you can see clearly that it's a repeating phenomenon. Yesterday was a very bullish day. Like we basically kept printing higher and higher, and went up, I think, almost 4% on the day for Nasdaq, which is massive. It was a massive run. So yesterday morning during London, we had this SMT here between accumulation and manipulation cycle of the morning session of London. Okay, here ES took the high while NQ failed to take the high during manipulation. Okay, so that's the other, like that's your confirmation that this market structure shift here is a valid setup, and this FVG is likely to be treated as a 2022 model FVG to send price lower. Okay, and actually I caught the leg, the second leg of this from here all the way to here in a video execution that I have on my channel, so feel free to look at it after you watch this video. Okay, so you can see how the logic is playing out here. Remember, very important, the SMT should be between two separate cycles. Okay, if it's within the same cycle, I'm not gonna trust it. Okay, very important. And another important thing, we don't have this example here in that particular day, but it can be also during the parent cycle. So SMT could form between this major accumulation daily cycle from midnight all the way until 6:50 or 7 o'clock, and the manipulation cycle, which goes between 7 and 10. Okay, it can form between these two cycles, or it can form between manipulation and distribution cycle, which is after 10 o'clock. Okay, the New York session. We don't have that particular example in that day, but we're gonna see that on the days before. So let me see quickly. Day before, what do we have here? On the day before, here is what I'm talking about. ES failing to take the high of here, of this morning accumulation cycle, and also failed to take the high, by the way, of here the high of the manipulation cycle. Okay, so ES remained weak, but NQ took both of these highs. So NQ took the high of the manipulation cycle, and it also took the high of the accumulation cycle. So we had an SMT here, and then price during distribution phase melted like ice cream on a hot summer day. It's 3 o'clock macro, and then it melts rapidly. Okay, so let's see day before. What do we have? We have on the day before ES in the morning taking, so basically NQ failed to take this during manipulation. See that? And ignore this one, please. And then ES took, during that same time, ES took the morning accumulation cycle high. So an RSMT, and then see the level 2, even level 3 microcycles. So within every parent cycle you have microcycles using the same sequence. So this big red box is our daily manipulation cycle, and within that you have accumulation, and then manipulation within the larger manipulation, where we fail to take this high, and then during distribution we have our market structure shift, and price ultimately continues to drop down all the way until 10:10, when it shifts gears and morning distribution, like New York AM distribution, takes place. Okay. Let's see the day before, what is happening. Oh, look at that, another one. So we have here between manipulation and accumulation cycle, we have an SMT. ES took the low, while NQ failed to take the low. Okay, then we have a market structure shift here with a small little FVG. That's a 5-minute chart, by the way. We're tapping into it right at 1:40 p.m., which is during the lunch macro of 1:30, like the PM macro, sorry, 1:30. And then during, like the market structure shift was provided during manipulation, level 3 manipulation cycle, and then the distribution cycle actually sent price higher above these relative equal highs here and into the order block here. All right, let's see if we had a similar scenario before. So basically here NQ failed to take the high of accumulation cycle, and ES technically failed to take it. Like ES actually printed the same, like this, it printed the same high, while NQ failed to take the high. See that? This guys is also an SMT. I'm not sure how many people out there will tell you this, but this is also an SMT. So the very fact that ES traded to the exact same level of this previous high, and NQ failed to do so, it's also an SMT. So it also happens between accumulation and manipulation cycles on the daily. And that was a Monday, no news Monday. And I'm not sure how many of you know this from Michael's lectures. It was, I think, a 2024 lectures. And if you're interested, I can point you at the particular lecture where he says that on a no news Monday, many times your setup will form before 9:30 open, and this is what we saw here. And then at 9:30 open, price will just keep going down. Okay, it's just gonna keep melting and never actually give you an opportunity to enter, because it's gonna be just a one-way street. Okay, so actually the setup here formed during the smaller microcycle manipulation, where we traded back into FVG here, took this high on our SMT. So ES printed same highs, while NQ actually took this high. Let's see it. See that? SMT. So you have an SMT here right when distribution cycle starts at 9, and then it's a one-way street. 9:30 is this candle. So we open, go a little bit high. This dotted line is midnight open. So we simply touch midnight open, and then we keep melting down all the way until 10:40. And then for the rest of the day, not much going on. This here during the beginning of PM session was probably the best opportunity if you didn't position yourself during pre-market open. All right, so let's see what ES is doing the day before. Oh, would you look at that? Another SMT between accumulation and manipulation. So ES takes the high here. See that? NQ fails to do so. See that? During the manipulation phase, we failed to take the extreme of this previous cycle, so the highest high during this range, during the accumulation range. That's where we want to see SMT. And then we have a massive drop all the way until 10 o'clock. One more manipulation then, and 10:45 we start retracing back into the pre-market manipulation range before we ultimately start dropping lower again. All right, so as you already probably saw, there was another SMT here where ES actually took the manipulation cycle high, but NQ failed to do so. NQ remained weak here. NQ remained weak, shifted market structure, retracement back during level 2 manipulation, and then for the rest of the day we simply went down. As you can see, guys, this thing forms every single day. It's on your chart consistently, and you cannot really miss it. It's there every single day. And I'm pretty sure if you just plot the indicator on your chart, and I'm sure you're gonna see it. It's gonna give you at least one or two high probability, high quality setups where you can be really confident that price will shift gears and it will start running in the other direction. Okay, So I'm very, very confident you're gonna love it once you see it on your chart. Not really an SMT here. That's what I'm trying to see here. That particular day didn't really give anything of high value. Maybe that one here, but that's that would be rather advanced, and it's also forming here. It's forming within the. It doesn't form at the extreme of the accumulation range, so it's between the micro ranges or the level 2 ranges. So it's between that distribution range and the next accumulation range here. It's very, very tiny, and you can take it, target the low here, because that will likely be the morning manipulation, and that's where 8:30 going into 9 will send it. But I avoid taking this. I like when SMT is at the extreme because the move is usually much more significant. Okay. A tiny little SMT here between the end of this manipulation cycle and the beginning of New York. This is not visible on a 5-minute chart, but it's there on the 1 minute. And also what you can see is an SMT here between the morning accumulation and the end of manipulation and beginning of distribution cycle. Okay, that's here. So you get the point, guys. See how many days back we went. We went, I don't know, 5 or 10 days back, found multiple setups consistently playing day in, day out. So this is how you find high probability, high quality setups. Now let's see how our idea in the morning is playing out. So you see so far, not bad. Distribution cycle is just starting now. So this is now the highest probability time when we can hit this high. All right, let's see though. And anyway, I hope you like the idea that I'm presenting to you using the power of 3 time cycles to find high probability trade setups. So one more time, your setups will form after an SMT confirmation between 2 separate cycles. It can be between 2 microcycles, it can be between 2 parent cycles. Okay, as soon as SMT forms, you have to be on alert and start looking for your particular setup, the setup that you like. It can be the 2022 model, it can be a change in the state of delivery, it can be an order block, it can be Venom or the Gauntlet or whatever you like to trade. But very important, if you want a higher probability trade setup, this is what you should be looking for. Okay, so using the power of 3 212 time sequence. All right, anyway guys, I'm gonna close the video now. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna just watch how the distribution cycle here will play out. Stay on alert. As you can see, there is a potential SMT here between these 2 cycles, so just stay on alert that we might drop lower. Keep that in mind, although we are very, very bullish so far this morning, and I'm more in favor of going up to take this high at the moment, but I might be wrong. Let's see. So I'm gonna fast forward now the video until we either sweep this liquidity or we take the manipulation cycle low below midnight open, and then I'm gonna close the video without any comment. Okay, and I'm leaving you to study what I just showed you. Okay, so until I see you guys next time, I'm out.